Okay, so our today's class is about the pillar of Islam, and the third pillar of Islam is Psalm. Okay, today we'll discuss and talk about Psalm, fasting. Fasting is the third pillar of Islam. As I told you earlier, that one of the hadith of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, which is linked and which is related to all the five pillars of Islam. Okay, it is the third pillar of Islam. ठीक है और आप अपने आंसर के अंदर इस तरीके से डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हैं पहले हदीस कोट कर दें प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम कि इस्लाम इज़ बेस्ड ऑन फाइव पिलर्स इस्लाम इज़ बेस्ड ऑन five pillars, okay, to bear witness that there is no god but Allah and Muhammad peace be upon him is his messenger, and to uh, pray five times a day, and to observe fast in the month of Ramzan, and to pay the obligatory charity and to perform pilgrimage if one can afford it. ठीक है तो आप इसके अंदर पहले तो किसी भी पिलर का क्वेश्चन आएगा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू राइट अबाउट the basic introduction that it is one of the pillar of Islam, and it was made obligatory in the second year of Hijrah with the Quranic verse, okay, that fasting has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may learn self-restraint, self-control, patience, taqwa, piety. Such type of words could be mentioned in your answer. Mention the importance of this month and the importance of this fast, that it is that worship which remained obligatory in all the previous divine religions. It has been made obligatory in all the previous nations. And it has so many blessings. It is the month of mercy. It is the month of Allah's mercy, forgiveness, blessings. So many things are there that can be identified. When the month of Ramzan starts, the gates of the heavens are opened, the gates of the hell are closed, devils are chained. Fasting is a shield, it's a protection. कुछ अहादीस इस तरीके की याद रखो बीच बीच में कि ठीक है दैट फास्टिंग इज अ शील्ड, आपको ये बेनिफिट्स में भी काम आएगी. ठीक, व्हेन वी से दैट फास्टिंग इज अ शील्ड, इट इज अ शील्ड फ्रॉम sins and the evils, and it is also a shield from the hellfire. It's also a shield from the committing sin. And Allah has not specified any specific reward for fasting. Rest of the good deeds, they have some specific reward, but fasting is that worship it which has no specific fixed reward. And Allah has told this in that has been narrated by the Holy Prophet peace upon him in Hadith Qudsi, that Allah says that fasting is for me and I shall certainly compensate it. Fasting is for me, that is Hadith Qudsi, that which talks about the reward for fasting, that fasting is for me and I shall certainly compensate it. Fine. Then the smell that comes out from the mouth of a person observing fast, it is dearer to Allah than a fragrance, than a smell of musk. Okay, मुश्क की खुशबू से अल्लाह ताला को वो चीज़ ज़्यादा पसंद है. ठीक है, रोज़ेदार के मुंह की स्मेल अल्लाह ताला के नज़दीक वो मुश्क की खुशबू से ज़्यादा पसंदीदा है. In during this month, okay, there is a specific gate, this specific door in the entrance of the paradise, which is for those who observe fast. Okay, that is known as Babur Rayyan. Ar Rayyan is the gate at the entrance of the paradise, and it is only reserved for those people who observe fast. आपसे पेपर में क्वेश्चन ये पूछा जाता है कि हाउ फास्टिंग इज ऑब्जर्व्ड, हाउ फास्टिंग इज कैरिड आउट. फॉर दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन यू हैव टू डिस्क्राइब सेवरल थिंग्स इन द आंसर. एक तो बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन आ जाएगा आपका आंसर के शुरू में कि इट इज़ द पिलर ऑफ इस्लाम. देन यू कैन फर्दर डिस्क्राइब के उसकी थोड़ी सी इंपॉर्टेंस को मेंशन कर दो. Then you can mention that the month of Ramzan begins with the sighting of moon. Okay, according to the hadith of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, do not start fasting unless you see the crescent of Ramzan, and do not give up fasting until you see the crescent of Shawwal. Okay, this hadith could be quoted, and you can mention at the start of your answer about the beginning of this month. It is the ninth month of the Islamic calendar. Okay, identify the people on whom it is obligatory, that it is the obligation on those Muslims, adults, sane, fine. And those who are exempted from it are the travelers, old people, sick, or people having such type of exemptions that they can postpone their fasting. So such few people and few Muslims are exempted from fasting. You can identify such people and what they should do. People who are exempted from fasting, they are of two types. Okay, there are दो चीज़ें उसमें हो सकती हैं. Some of them, they are, their exemption and their restriction is temporary. Okay, and the other are those people who their illness and their restriction is permanent. जिनका बिल्कुल permanent मसला है, they have to pay fidya. Okay, or for each leftover fast they have to pay fidya of their missed fast, and fidya of each fast is to feed a poor person twice a day. To feed a poor person twice a day, it is a fidya for the one who is leaving fast because of some reason. And in case the uh, restriction or the exemption is temporary, then the person they have to now count the number of days that they have missed, and they have to compensate the number of missed days later on after the month of Ramzan. So all those people who are fit, healthy, they must observe this the observe fast during the whole month in the manner that has been prescribed by the Prophet peace be upon him. You can say that the word psalm is used for fasting, and psalm means abstinence, to abstain. It means to abstinence, and it is to abstain from eating, drinking, and the marital relations from the breaking of dawn till sunset. It is observed, this month of fast is observed in the month of Ramzan. He described the way it is practiced that Muslims they have a breakfast, they have a meal, okay, pre-dawn meal. It is taken, and it is the sunnah of the Holy Prophet peace be upon him to take this meal. According to the hadith of the Holy Prophet has promised that Allah has put a blessing in it. Take sahur or take sehri, take meals a little before dawn, because there is a blessing in taking the meals at that time. Okay, why it is? What is the purpose behind? First of all, it is a sunnah of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, and to gain energy for coming for the next day, which is spent without having food and drink. Fine. Then they can make their intention, and it is not necessary to say the intention by using your tongue or by uttering the words. It is not necessary, and they can just have an intention in their heart that, oh Allah, they can say it with their tongue also, that, oh Allah, I intend to observe fast. Okay, this is not the particular wordings of the Holy Prophet. This is not a particular dua that has been taught by the Holy Prophet peace upon him. But usually Muslims they make the intention with these words. Fine. They perform their regular prayers, obligatory prayers. They are punctual. They try to remain punctual in performing their prayers, and also they spend time in recitation of Quran, because the month of Ramzan is the month of it is the month in which the Holy Quran was revealed, and it is a month of blessing and so much kindness and mercy. So they try to spend their time, then they abstain themselves from such type of activities which are forbidden, and they also stay away from all other practices like backbiting, slandering, lying, or such type of bad practices which are very much common in our society. And when someone quarrels a person observing fast, he mentions that he is the one who is observing fast, and he abstains himself from such type of abusive and foul language. Such type of things should be mentioned in your answer. People who break their fast, they have to uh, observe kaza. Okay, kaza means that they have to compensate their missed fast. And if the fasting has been missed and it has been broken, if fast has been broken uh, with intention without any reason, intentionally without any reason, so here the person has to pay the penalty, which is known as kafara. Fine. So it is compensated by either offering 60 consecutive fasts. Yes, 60 for one, 60 for the 60 for the one fast. And Muslim they have to, otherwise if not possible, then they have to feed uh, 60 people twice a day for these fasts. Okay, there are other options also. So this shows that Muslims they need to take special care for their fast during this month, and they must not make fun of these obligations which has been made obligatory by Allah Almighty. These are the commandments of Allah Almighty, and we need to take it seriously and don't make fun of these commands, because that has been done by the Jews and the Christians earlier, that they made fun of Allah's commandments, and later on they were rejected. They faced Allah's wrath and punishment. So we pray to Allah Almighty that He should guide us towards the straight path, that is the path of those who earn His favor and blessings, and not of those who earn His wrath and anger. Then Other things that you can identify, that at the time before the sunset, they spend this time in supplication because it is the time for the acceptance of prayer. There are high chances that their prayers would be accepted at the time just before the sunset. And you can identify that they break their fast with a proper intention, with a proper dua that has been taught by the Prophet, peace be upon him, and that, oh Allah, I fasted for you, and I believe in you, and I put my trust in you, and now I break my fast from the sustenance that you had provided. And this is the way that they have to break their fast immediately after the sunset, because according to the hadith of the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, the dearest of my servants are those who are quick in breaking their fast. The dearest of my servants, the dearest of the servant in my sight, it is also a hadith Qudsi, who are quickest in breaking their fast. Okay, so according to the hadith of the Prophet, and it is sunnah, that to break the fast with dates. It was the Prophet's practice that he used to break his fast with dates, and if dates are not available, then with water. According to the hadith, when one of you breaks his fast, he should do so with dates, for they provide blessing. But if someone cannot get any, he should break his fast with water, for it is purifying. This hadith could be, it is natural, it is purifying. You can mention it in your answer. They perform their prayers as we know that that is, these obligatory prayers are to be performed in congregation, particularly for men. Other practices, because अगर आपसे ये पूछा जा रहा है कि describe the major observances during the month of Ramzan, so you will not only talk about the method of fasting, you also have to describe the other practices which they perform in the month of Ramadan. Like, you can say that they perform 20 rakat Tarawih prayer, okay, and they perform etikaf in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, and you can mention that they try to seek the night of power, Laylatul Qadr, in the last 10 days, in the odd nights of the last 10 days of the month of Ramzan. Okay, 20 units is offered in Ramzan after Isha prayer and before Witr prayer, and it is the Sunnah prayer of the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, okay, in which efforts are made to recite much of the Quran as possible, and in many places they complete the one complete recitation of the Holy Quran in these prayers. So these prayers are performed in congregation, although Prophet peace upon him performed it for 3 days in congregation, but during Umar's Khilafat, he initiated 20 rakat prayer by ijma of the companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Here we can quote a hadith of the Holy Prophet. According to the hadith, एक hadith याद रखो, वो कई जगह पे आपको help कर लेगी. That that hadith is, whoever observed fast in the month of Ramzan, whoever observed fast in the month of Ramzan with faith and hope of reward, with faith and hope of reward, all his past sins would be forgiven. ठीक है, तो बीच की सिर्फ एक whoever आगे डैश कर दी, with faith and hope of reward his past sins would be forgiven. तो पहली बात हमने की observe fast during this month, during the month of Ramzan. एक और चीज़, whoever stood or whoever stand in prayers at night, whoever stand in prayer at night during the month of Ramzan with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. And whoever stood in Laylatul Qadr, in the night of power, with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. आपने इस तरीके से ये हदीस 3 जगह यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ये रमज़ान के रोज़े से भी लिंक्ड है, ये तरावी से भी लिंक्ड है, और ये लैलतुल क़द्र से भी लिंक्ड है. ठीक है, कि जिसने रमज़ान के महीने के रोज़े रखे ईमान के साथ और सवाब की उम्मीद से, हिज पास्ट सिंस वुड बी फॉरगिवन. इसी तरीके से यही हदीस है कि जिसने रमज़ान की रातों में क़याम किया, ठीक है, whoever stood in the nights of Ramzan, मतलब for prayers, with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. And whoever stood in the night of power, with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. तो तीनों के लिए इस तरीके से ये हदीस यूज़ हो सकती है. Other practices में you can talk about Laylatul Qadr, you can mention etikaf, seeking Laylatul Qadr, the night of power in the last 10 days of Ramzan. It is also one of the thing that is observed by the Muslims. ठीक है, मैंने बताया कि रिपीट भी कर देता हूँ कि whoever observed fast of Ramzan with faith and hope of reward, his past sins would be forgiven. उसकी जगह फिर आप standing at night during रमज़ान और standing at night during लैलतुल क़द्र की चेंज करके बाकी सारी हदीस वही रहेगी. एतकाफ़ की बात करें, that Prophet peace upon him did एतकाफ़ in the last 10 days of the month of Ramzan, and it is also the sunnah of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, ठीक है, to observe एतकाफ़ and to seclude himself from the worldly activities and spend this time in worship, okay, and strengthening his relationship with God. So it is compulsory, fasting is compulsory on every male or female, free or slave, child or adult, okay, child or adult, and it is, if the person is not able, then he has to pay fidya. Okay, fidya मैंने बताया कि to feed a poor person twice a day, ठीक है, for each left fast they have to feed a poor person twice a day, एक रोजे के बदले, or they can pay at the rate of amount of sadqatul fitr. Sadqatul fitr rate is 1.75 kg approximately, ठीक है, of wheat. Further you can talk about सदक़तुल फ़ितर ऑल्सो, ठीक है, इसके अंदर सदक़तुल फ़ितर की बात की जा सकती है. ईद उल फितर को बहुत डिटेल में डिस्क्राइब नहीं करेंगे बिकॉज टॉपिक ऑफ ईद इज रिलेटेड टू प्रेयर, ठीक है, यहाँ से उससे रिलेटेड है. मैटर्स दैट कैंसिल आउट फास्टिंग, यू नो, बट बहुत डिटेल में जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ठीक है. आपने बस ये ध्यान में रखना है कि फास्टिंग किसके ऊपर ऑब्लिगेटरी है, कौन लोग एग्जेम्प्टेड हैं, जो लोग एग्जेम्प्टेड हैं वो क्या करेंगे, और कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी कि जिसकी वजह से रोज़ा जो है वो दैट ब्रेक्स द पर्सन फास्ट, ठीक है, और अगर रोज़ा टूट जाए, अगर वो अनइंटेंशनली है तो फिर क्या करना है, इंटेंशनली है तो ये क्या करना है, तो थोड़े से उन चीज़ों को डिस्क्राइब कर दोगे. ज़कातुल फ़ितर और सदक़तुल फ़ितर इट इज़ सेम थिंग. मुस्लिम्स दे पे ज़कातुल फ़ितर और फितराना और सदक़तुल फ़ितर at the end of the month of Ramzan. So it is wajib. We can say it is obligatory. It is compulsory on male, okay, on female, free and slave, young and old, from every person who possess amount equal to nisab. Okay, there is no condition. I told you that if the fast has been broken intentionally, the person has to pay kafara, 60 fast. So the Prophet peace upon him commanded us the payment of 1 sa of dates, 1 sa of barley, or okay, as zakatul fitr on from every Muslim, young and old, male and female, free and slave, and half sa for wheat. Okay, wheat. उसके लिए half sa है. And it must be paid by the head of the family or individuals in the month of Ramzan by first Shawwal before Eid prayer. That must be paid before Eid prayer. But if one forgets, he must pay it as soon as possible when he remembers. And Zakat al-Fitr is for everyone regardless of one's income. Okay, that how much income he has. If the person falls in the category that he is Saib and Isab and he has that much amount, so he should pay Zakat al-Fitr before going for the Eid prayer. Why it is paid? What is the purpose of paying the payment of Zakat al-Fitr by the Muslims? To to show their gratitude to Allah Almighty, that Muslims they successfully observe one of the basic obligation during this month by observing fast, and it is a day of for them to show their gratitude to Allah Almighty. And through this sadaqah, we can share our happiness and we can let the poor people celebrate this moment of happiness, okay, along with us, and they can have something to celebrate Eid. And another thing that you can identify is that through sadaqah we can make, when we can compensate for the mistakes that we had committed during this month of Ramadan. Okay, yes, Abdul Rahman, you can write your question. So this is how, these are the three things that you can mention कि सदक़ातुल फ़ितर का बेसिक ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि हम अल्लाह ताला का शुक्र अदा करते हैं इसके ज़रिए से, टू बी ग्रेटफुल टू हिम, ठीक है, दैट वी ऑब्जर्व वन ऑफ द कंप्लीटेड द बेसिक ऑब्लिगेशन, and we can mention ke we, so that the poor people can celebrate Eid, okay. And the third thing, that we can make compensation of the mistake that we might have committed during this month while observing fast. यस अगर डेली ऑब्जर्वेंसेस की बात आ रही है ना, तो डेली ऑब्जर्वेंसेस के अंदर हम सिर्फ फास्टिंग का मेथड डिस्क्राइब नहीं करेंगे बल्कि हम पूरी कंप्लीट डिटेल देंगे, ठीक है. उसमें तरावी का ही बताएंगे, एतकाफ़ का ही बताएंगे, और थोड़ी थोड़ी चीज़ें बाकी डिटेल में तो रमज़ान का आएगा, लेकिन बाकी चीज़ें भी कुछ ना कुछ ऐड होंगी. Sometimes they ask you to write about the benefits of Ramzan fast. So there are individual benefits communal and social benefits of this fast, and along with that इकोनॉमिक और फाइनेंशियल बेनिफिट्स भी रोज़े के होते हैं ना। ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट बेनिफिट ऑफ दिस फास्ट। अच्छा, इसमें पहले तो आप बेसिक इंट्रोडक्शन दे दो रोज़े का, फास्टिंग का, कि ऑन होम इट इज़ ऑब्लिगेटरी, व्हेन इट वाज मेड ऑब्लिगेटरी। ठीक है, रोज़े का मीनिंग क्या है, मेथड क्या है, उसकी डेफिनेशन क्या है, उसके उसके ऑब्लिगेशन से रिलेटेड वर्ड्स कोट करके एक डिटेल पैराग्राफ बना के, मीडियम साइज पैराग्राफ आधे पेज का लिख के, देन यू कैन राइट अबाउट इट बेनिफिट्स। पहले इंडिविजुअल बेनिफिट्स को डिटेल में बताएं। मोर देन हाफ पेज आप लिख सकते हैं अपने आंसर के अंदर। इंडिविजुअल बेनिफिट्स में आप कई सारी चीज़ों को डिस्क्राइब कर दो कि रिवॉर्ड है, प्रोटेक्शन फ्रॉम द हेल्थ फायर है। ठीक है, अल्लाह ताला की तरफ से जो रिवॉर्ड मेंशन है कि दैट फास्टिंग इज़ फॉर मी एंड आई शैल सर्टेनली कंपनसेट इट। एंड इन द सेम वे, ठीक है, फास्टिंग से कि द बेस्ट द स्मेल, उसकी जो मुँह की जो स्मेल है वो भी डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हो। ठीक है, बिल्कुल मेंशन करना है कि जो लोग एग्जेम्प्टेड हैं उसको मेंशन करोगे आंसर के अंदर, एतकाफ़ को ही मेंशन करोगे, मेथड ऑफ और डेली ऑब्जर्वेंसेस ऑफ रमज़ान फास्ट के अंदर। ये सब बातें बहुत ब्रीफली मेंशन करनी है हर चीज़ को। ठीक है, और साथ के साथ आप अपने आंसर के अंदर जो उसके बेनिफिट्स हैं ना, जैसे सेल्फ कंट्रोल की बात है, विच इज़ द बेसिक पर्पस एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ मेकिंग इट ऑब्लिगेटरी। ठीक है, उससे रिलेटेड वर्ड्स कोट करोगे, फास्टिंग इज प्रिस्क्राइब टू द बिलीवर्स सो दैट दे मे लर्न self restraint and self control in their life, because the person has to abstain himself from eating, drinking and the other activities during the month, and this month long practice it helps him learn and attain this character। उसके अंदर ये सब चीज़ें डेवलप हो जाती हैं। Then afterwards, you can talk about the spiritual uplift. He feels the purity in him, becomes aware of the priority that is along with the worldly life, and the preparation of his life hereafter. Okay, health benefits could also be achieved from this fast, according to the hadith of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, that observe fast, keep fast, and you will get health. Okay, you will get health. Mention that how body gets benefits by observing fast, that the body gets rid of the toxic material. Most of the problem our health issues are due to the irregular habit of eating and drinking. Okay, so the stomach gets some rest, and it's a yearly body cleanser and clears out the system, okay, of our bodily functions from all the impurities and the toxins, which makes our health okay and at risk, and it increases our lifespan, it develops immunity in ourselves. So this is how this fasting, it is a source of lot of benefits for an individual. Fasting is a shield, it is a shield from the sins, and also it is a shield from the hellfire. Okay, there is a hadith that we already quoted. It is a source through which we can seek Allah's blessing, his favor and नंबर ऑफ रिवॉर्ड। ठीक है, अल्लाह ताला की तरफ से रिवॉर्ड की बात कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, बेसिकली आइडेंटिफाई कर लो कुछ मेन पॉइंट्स को, और उसके बारे में अपने अपने आंसर में उन चीज़ों को डेवलप कर लेना थोड़ा थोड़ा। साथ साथ आप बताएंगे कि हाउ फास्टिंग, ठीक है, रिवॉर्ड की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो वी कैन मेंशन दैट देयर इज़ ए स्पेसिफिक डोर एंट्रेंस फॉर दोज हु ऑब्जर्व फास्ट। ठीक है, उनके लिए दरवाज़ा भी है जन्नत के अंदर। आप बता देंगे ऑन द डे ऑफ जजमेंट देयर विल बी सम पीपल सिटिंग अंडर द शेड ऑफ अ लास्ट थ्रोन, अल्लाह ताला के अर्श के साए में बैठे हुए होंगे। ठीक है, एंड दे विल बी ईटिंग, ड्रिंकिंग एंड हैविंग। ठीक है, उनके लिए खाने पीने का इंतज़ाम होगा। अदर पीपल वर बिजी, दे वुड बी बिजी इन देयर अकाउंटेबिलिटी, अपने हिसाब किताब में मसरूफ़ होंगे। ठीक है, दे विल आस्क दैट हु आर दोज पीपल हु आर एंजॉइंग। ठीक है, तो दे वुड बी टोल्ड दैट दे वर दोज पीपल हु आर ऑब्जर्विंग फास्ट। ठीक है, दे वर ऑब्जर्विंग फास्ट ड्यूरिंग देयर लाइफ टाइम इन द वर्ल्ड। जो दिन दुनिया में रोज़े रखा करते थे उनको अल्लाह ताला की तरफ से उनकी मेहमान नवाजी होगी क़यामत के दिन। Okay, the one who observe fast, he has two moments of happiness. Okay, he has two pleasures, the moments of happiness. Okay, joy. One is the time when he observe fast, and the other one at the time when he will meet his Lord, at the time when he will meet his Lord and get the reward. So the one observing fast has two moments of happiness. दो खुशियाँ हैं रोज़ेदार के लिए, एक खुशी इफ्तार के वक्त और दूसरी खुशी अपने रब से मुलाकात के वक्त, when he will get that much a reward from Allah Almighty. कम्युनल बेनिफिट्स नहीं, ईद नहीं मेंशन करते रमज़ान के अंदर। ठीक है, ईद का टॉपिक हमारा प्रेयर से ज़्यादा लिंक्ड है। ठीक है, और अगर इसको फास्टिंग के साथ लिंक करके पूछा जा रहा है तो फिर आप फास्टिंग के साथ लिंक करेंगे, वरना अदरवाइज देयर इज़ नो नीड कि आप फास्टिंग के अंदर आप ईद को मेंशन करें। कम्युनल बेनिफिट्स के हमें इससे भी, ईद का आपको देखो मैंने पहले भी सवाल शेयर किया, ईद का अलग से सवाल आता है, प्रेयर का टॉपिक से ज़्यादा लिंक्ड है, इसलिए फास्टिंग के साथ इसका कभी आया ही नहीं है। हाँ, फास्टिंग के साथ ईद प्रेयर के बाद आपसे ये पूछा जा सकता है वाई मुस्लिम दे पे सदक़तुल फितर बिफोर गोइंग फॉर ईद प्रेयर, तो फिर आपका सदक़तुल फितर का बी पार्ट उससे कनेक्ट हो सकता है। ठीक है, एज सच वैसे नहीं होता। Communal benefits, because by observing fast it unites the person, and this is how it brings unity amongst the Muslim community. ठीक है, they can feel the hunger by observing fast, and they can understand the hunger pangs, and that how much difficulties the poor people can face because by observing fast. So it develops sense of equality because all the Muslims, they are observing the same obligation at the same time. Okay, they all have to follow the same rules. Okay, they have to stop eating at the same time, and it also develops sympathy for the poor and the needy. ठीक है, उनके लिए हमदर्दी, उनके लिए उनका ख्याल का जज्बा पैदा होता है, and it encourages to help them. In the same way, इस सिंपैथी की वजह से क्या होता है, rich tries to help the poor by sharing their iftar, by donating their wealth in the way of Allah Almighty to help such people who needs help. So it connects the community. ठीक है, fasting connects the different classes of the society. The two extremes of the society come they come close to one another. Okay, the rich and the poor. ठीक है, जो हमारे higher and the lower जो society के class system है, it bridges the gap between the two. So while poor believers receive zakat and help from the rich believers, which makes them feel grateful and closer to one another. This is how आपस के इसके relations जो होंगे वो develop होंगे. Fasting, it also circulates the wealth. That is an economic and financial benefit of Ramzan fast. कैसे? Because those who are unable to observe fast, they pay fidya. Okay, those who cannot make compensation of kafara, they can pay and compensate it in the form of feeding a poor person. And in the same way, most of the people, they prefer to pay their zakat in the month of Ramzan. Why? Because in the month of Ramzan, the good deeds which are performed in this month, they had more reward as compared to the deeds which are performed in the other months. Okay, whoever performs nafil, he gets the reward as he has performed a farz, and whoever observe farz, ठीक है, कोई अगर फर्ज के बारे में पूछे परफॉर्म करते हैं तो फिर देन यू हैव टू मेंशन कि द पर्सन गेट्स द रिवॉर्ड ऑफ 70 फर्ज। ठीक है, ठीक है, लेजेंड का आंसर मैं अभी बता दे देता हूँ। ठीक है, द इंक्रीज इट इंक्रीज द सेंस ऑफ सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। ठीक है, fasting individual realizes the hardship faced by the poor of people of society and feels an increased sense of social responsibility. ठीक है, he feels the urge to help the poor more often to reduce their suffering as much as possible. ईद का क्वेश्चन है तो हम बता सकते हैं कि हाउ ईद प्रेयर इज, अगर पूछा जा रहा है कि हाउ द ईद प्रेयर इज परफॉर्म, तो आप यू विल जस्ट टॉक अबाउट ईद प्रेयर. एंड इफ दे आर आस्किंग दैट हाउ ईद इज सेलिब्रेटेड बाय द मुस्लिम, देन यू कैन डिस्क्राइब अलॉन्ग विद द ईद प्रेयर. मेजर कंटेंट आपके आंसर का ईद प्रेयर का होगा, एंड यू कैन गिव फर्दर डिटेल्स दैट हाउ ईद इज सेलिब्रेटेड ऑल ओवर द मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड. उसके अंदर हम प्रैक्टिसेस जो मुस्लिम सोसाइटी की उसको दे सकते हैं. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप नॉर्मल प्रैक्टिसेस को डिस्क्राइब करते जा रहे हैं और आपके आंसर के अंदर जो असल ईद प्रेयर का जो है और ईद से रिलेटेड जो अदर स्पेसिफिक डिटेल्स हैं वो हो ही ना. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. तो ये फास्टिंग से रिलेटेड कुछ चीज़ें थी वी डिस्कस्ड. आई होप दिस इज़ क्लियर.